Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Shoes. Welcome back to Transport Fever 2 and our mini-series here on our temperate region of the United States of America. Welcome back. Today we are starting off once again and we have a new project to do. But first there's a small update. I'm not going to waste too much time on it. So one thing that you may notice differently if you've been continuing with the series is that we now have a depot or branch or whatever you want to call it station for our bus transportation in Port St. Lucie. We now have two lines going around in a circle, and I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like. So our green line goes in a counterclockwise motion and our orange line goes in a clockwise motion, but they go to two separate sides of the city, so hopefully we can increase our percentage for destination traveling, and hopefully we will be able to grow the city even more. Over in Bellevue, we are doing something very similar as well, where our destinations are at a 40% increase, and we have two different lines. We have a lime/yellow color line. I'm just going to call it yellow for now. But then we got a blue/purple line right over here. So hopefully we can pick up more people. So thankfully we are still making money on every single line. I've only been paying off loans. I haven't done anything except for what I just showed you. So let's get into the project for this episode. Okay, so I have figured out the idea for our next project. We have two ways we can go right now. I just found out a second one. The thing that I was thinking about doing is getting a food production going on so we can grow Montgomery even more and even grow Frisco. And if we grow Frisco, then we can also set up a transportation line of some sort to our connecting cities. But that being said, we have a farm way down here. We have another farm down here for our food processing plant. And then we would have to ship it all the way over to Montgomery down here. So this could work. But then we also have a second option. We could send our logs over to our sawmill and bring it over to our tools factory and send it over to Bellevue. So we have two ways we can go, but I think I want to do the food for this one. And I know Bellevue is growing pretty good, but Montgomery really needs that extra boost. Although Montgomery has been, building up, it's still taking a long time considering, they were only at a population of like 60 before this. So we're going to try to get that moving. Only problem is that we have our train station, which is located right here. So we would have to send it on the... If my game would stop lagging, we would have to send it on the side over here, which would be really inefficient, but it's basically the only way we can go with this. So let's get started on that, and I'm going to show you what I come up with. Okay, so I think it's time to tell you what I did. We just pulled out a whole lot of money, and let's see where it goes from here, I guess. So let me show you what just happened. So first off, we did make our depot toward the center near this big bridge that you see right here. I'm going to go over that here in just a moment. But first off, we have our farm way over here where our train is going to come in and fill up as much as possible. Now I did have a choice between this locomotive versus one that was about $10 million extra. So I decided to stick with this one. We are making a lot more money now, which is great, but these bigger vehicles we just can't afford yet, so we got to try to move up there. But see how long this guy is? He's got 10 carts on him for a total capacity of 120 grain. So that is awesome. This is the only locomotive part of our food transportation line right now because we still have to buy the other one. But essentially this guy will come up. It was a very hilly area, so it was a little bit difficult to get it just right. But he will come over here, where he will be told, yes, you can go on this bridge, or no, you cannot go on this bridge. It will most likely be yes, hopefully, and he will come through this bridge, which is only one lane, and then he will come over here and he will pick one of the sides, and then he will drop it off down at our cargo station by our food processing plant. And then for our second line, we will get another locomotive to pick up over here, and then it will have to come through the same bridge. So the thing is that bridges are very expensive in this game. So how we work out through this is that hopefully we don't lose too much money in the process, but a locomotive will have to stay and wait for the next one to come through if it is busy. And this happens in real life all the time. It is nothing new. We do have new stoplights, by the way, which look really weird. But beside that, come down here, go through these weird windy, roads, hills, stuff like that. Very bumpy. And you come across and you come to our wonderful looking, pathetic train station. It's very, very sad. It needs a lot of work. But that being said, we can get our second train going here in a moment once this guy can get going. Actually, I'm going to turn you around because now you can go and drop it off. We'll see how you do. I'm going to meet back with you guys here shortly and hopefully do a little bit more micromanagement elsewhere. Alright, here we are with our second locomotive for our food transportation line. This guy is going to be going to the same place I mentioned before, and he has a capacity of 72. So hopefully he's going to make us some good money, and he will transport it straight to Montgomery. And if we go over to Montgomery, this is Montgomery. So it will come straight into the station here, just like our construction line does. Same station, right? And we look at where all the food is. It's actually all within this general area, which is nice because if we click on the station itself, it can transport to almost all places. And if not, it will actually get dropped off by our little bus station here, and it will actually get dropped off over here to extend these few places over here. So this city is going to grow even more. Right now it's at a 130% increase. Let's see if it actually changes to something different. I'm actually very interested to see where it goes from here. Okay, so our line is doing very good right now. We're starting to catch up. We were losing some money toward the beginning, but now our trains are going back and forth. The real big issue here is that there's just not enough raw materials going to our food processing plant and being processed so we can ship them over to Montgomery. There's just not enough food that's moving over there. So what I'm considering is maybe attaching a new line over to the other farms to get to the food processing plant. And then the more raw material we get to that food processing plant, the more food that is processed can go to other places like Frisco. Looking at our map, if it doesn't lag on me too much, we have only Montgomery and Frisco that want food. But we do have a few farms. We have 4 total. We have one in the top left corner. We have one near the top middle. So 2 basically right next to each other down over here. Then we have the one over by Bellevue. And then we have one way in the middle of nowhere. Basically, it's way down at the bottom near Frisco and Gainesville. Right in the middle there. So I feel like this video is still a little bit too short, and I don't want to leave you guys hanging. I want to give you guys a little bit more content to watch for this episode in our series. So maybe we're going to get out of our comfort zone even a little bit more by doing something else. Now I have been sitting around for quite some time just updating some vehicles for certain lines and trying to maximize our efficiency and profit by doing so. But I think we need to do something else now. And if I'm ready for it, I have no idea, but I feel like we just have to do it. So I've been waiting for a while for the money to roll in, and I want to get in an airport so bad, but our food line is really keeping us down, and I'm not happy about it. So I think it may be doing better, but I really have to look into this. So we now have 2 airports in our game, one in St. Port Lucie, and then we have another one in Gainesville. Now we just have to set up the lines so they all connect to each other. Now I'm probably going to go under a lengthy renovation or construction project for all our roads here, mainly because of just how this road is so close to the railway. It's not going to work out for us. So I'm actually just going to bring this guy over, and hopefully you can straighten out, because that would be highly, cool. Okay, so the game is still paused. I just built this nice, wonderful little road here that does cut through here. Only problem is that it's going to cut through 2 different trains coming through this section, but hopefully it doesn't put a damper on us too much. However, we will have a 3rd terminal now for our wonderful little, I don't even know if it's called a terminal in here, but we now have a 3rd terminal for our bus station. So that will be bringing all passengers from this area all the way down to our airport. So if someone wants to take the bus to the airport, they have to pick up another bus most likely to get over here. So that is a plus. Now we just have to edit over in Gainesville. So the thing is, Gainesville is a pretty big place. We do have a road that comes over to the airport, but this was the best place to put the airport, as in for the construction costs. Otherwise, it was very expensive, considering it is on a little bit of a hill. If we get down lower here, you can see the slight incline. So this was the best place to put it. But the problem is now we have to pick up more people around town, and it's probably going to be a big loop around town, which I hate to do, but we're probably going to do it, and we'll have to edit it later. Like, let's be honest, it's going to happen. So we had to get down the transportation line for this area. Okay, thankfully we now have bus transportation in both cities that bring people to the airport. Now we just have to wait for people to actually use them and use our 2 planes for this area. Oh, that was a... Okay, that was... Okay, interesting. But we now have 2 planes that will be using our airports, and hopefully we can get some people transported back and forth. But it is going to take a little bit to set in place, so hopefully that will work out just well for me. Alright, so this is where I'm going to leave off the video, but we're just going to do a little bit of a recap before we do end it off. All our lines are making money so far, except for the ones that we built today, as per usual. That usually happens. So hopefully we'll start making money. The planes are very fast transportation. They're working out great so far. And the only thing about our food line is that we're just not making money off of the food being transported into Montgomery. And let's take a look at Montgomery. Montgomery is almost getting all their food, but they are still a little bit far away from getting all of it. So we may need to build another line to bring more food over to our processing plant way down here. As it is, only 30 are being picked up at a time versus our capacity at 72, which is very inefficient for us. So hopefully we can get that fixed for next time. On another side of things, we do have a ton of people waiting for our trains to be... There was just 200 people here. I don't know if the train just left. It must have been. But there were like 200 people waiting in Port St. Lucie just for, you know, the train to get through Montgomery and Bellevue. And there's a bunch of people here dealing with the same issue, and a bunch of people down here dealing with the same issue. So we're going to have to fix that up. We may make 2 individual train lines for these guys instead of having them go straight on, which we may just do, which means Montgomery is going to have a huge makeover, which we may just end up doing. So therefore, stay tuned for next episode. But anyhow, that's where I'm going to leave it off. So please like this video if you'd like to help support out the channel. Hit subscribe to stay up to date on all things, including this next video on this series. Join our Discord as well. If you subscribe and join our Discord, I will give you a free shout out in the next few videos. Be sure to leave some comments down below on things that you'd like to see in the video, or if you have any thoughts, leave them down below. I will review them, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for joining me today. Goodbye.